It is often said that trauma makes us stronger, that through suffering we develop resilience, inner strength, and a new perspective on life. For some, trauma becomes a driving force, pushing them to grow, to protect others, and to move forward. This is clearly seen in the character Yuji Itadori. However, trauma can also be buried deep within the mind, left unresolved and unspoken, shaping a person in far darker ways. This is the path that the character Akaza walks. Both Yuji and Akaza are shaped by trauma. Both use their pain to grow stronger, but the way they confront that pain and what they become of it could not be more different. Hello everyone, Dusty here. In this video, I'll be talking about a pretty popular debate between two hand-to-hand brawlers. Those characters are Yuji Itadori from Jujitsu Kaisen and Akaza, the Upper Moon 3 demon from Demon Slayer. These two characters have very similar fighting styles, and they are also pretty powerful within their respective verses. So this matchup is really thematic and fun. I'll be comparing their stats, such as strength, speed, durability, IQ, experience, and their abilities to come to the conclusion on who would win this fight. Before we get to that, I need to tell you about their backstories, starting with Yuji. Yuji Itadori was a high school student with extraordinary physical abilities who lived a quiet life in Sendai, caring for his ailing grandfather. His grandfather's final words to him were to ensure that he gives people proper deaths, which shaped Yuji's perspective on life. After his grandfather's passing, Yuji's life changed when he encountered the cursed object, one of Sukuna's fingers. Yuji ate the finger to save his friends, but he also became the vessel of the King of Curses, Ryomen Sukuna, the most powerful and malevolent cursed sorcerer in history. Yuji was then recruited into Jujitsu High by the sorcerer Satoru Gojo, with the task of helping collect all of Sukuna's fingers. Along the way, he met a group of friends in Megumi Fushiguro and Noboru Kuwasaki. However, Sukuna would eventually leave Yuji's body and take over Megumi, forcing Yuji to fight Sukuna directly, which after a long and intense battle, Yuji landed the final blow, ending the reign of the King of Curses and finally having some time to rest. Akaza was not born a demon. He was forced into being one by the Demon King Muzan Kibutsuji. Akaza's real name is Hakuji, and his life as a human wasn't that great. His family was extremely poor, and Hakuji had to fight and steal just to eat food every day. Hakuji's mother had died a long time ago, and his father had taken his own life, fearing that he was holding Hakuji back. He wandered the streets fighting until the day he met the dojo master Keizo, who took Hakuji in as his apprentice. It was at the dojo where Hakuji met his future wife, Kyoyuki, who at the time was very sick. Hakuji would help around the dojo doing chores and caring for Kyoji, nursing her back to health while also being trained by Keizo. For the first time in a while, Hakuji felt like he had a true family. Then one day he returned to the dojo where he found his master and wife dead, as they were poisoned by a rival dojo. In a fit of rage, Hakuji stormed into the dojo and killed everyone in there by himself with his bare hands. After the incident, he walked the streets alone and was covered in blood when he was found by the Demon King, Muzan Kibutsuji. Muzan was impressed by Hakuji's strength and made him into the powerful demon, Akaza. Akaza was so strong that he quickly rose into being the Upper Moon 3. Akaza would engage in combat with Tanjiro and Giyu during the Infinity Castle arc, where he would be reminded of his past and, filled with remorse, took his own life to be with his wife again. So now that you know who these characters are, let's get to the main event. Like I said in the intro, I'll be comparing their stats to come to the conclusion on who the strongest brawler is. Let's begin by talking about the first stat, their strength. Yuji is an incredibly powerful Jujitsu sorcerer. Yuji is strong enough to lift and throw cars around like they're nothing. Yuji's strength has also been described as superhuman by other strong sorcerers like Nanami, which is very impressive. Megumi has also stated that he believes that Yuji would win in a fight against all other Jujutsu High students in a fight where cursed energy isn't involved. And he said this after his training with both Todo and Maki, two strong sorcerers in their own right. Yuji was able to go blow for blow and even damage evolved Mahito, who is a powerful cursed spirit capable of generating multi-city block levels of power and destructive force with his cursed energy. So this means that Yuji would scale around multi-city block to potentially even city level. However, he would actually be stronger than this. In the JJK sequel series, Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo, there is a statement implying that prime adult Yuji is either on par or even stronger than Gojo. The same Gojo who is capable of leveling entire cities like Shibuya, as well as having so much cursed energy that he can power all of Japan. So if we take this statement and use it as Yuji's highest point of strength, this should give Yuji country levels of strength. Akaza is one of the strongest demons in all of Demon Slayer. For starters, him being Upper Moon 3 means that he is stronger than demons like Gyutaro and Hatengu. Gyutaro is able to destroy a large portion of the entertainment district with his final discharge of energy. When calculated, this is a town-level feat, and this is also consistent with what Hatengu and Sahukaten, as well as the emotion clones, were able to do. In the entertainment district, the Hatengu was able to destroy the entire blacksmith village with his emotion clones. Akaza was also able to fight and kill Rengoku while holding back drastically. This is impressive since Rengoku was a Hashira, meaning he was one of the strongest demon slayers around. In the Infinity Castle arc, Akaza fought both Tanjiro and Giyu, and even kept his own against marked Giyu. And he was holding his own and overpowering them both for pretty much the entire battle. Giyu is a Hashira that is much stronger than Rengoku, who, like I said, fought Akaza, as well as Tengen, who held his own against Gyutaro for a small frame of time. Giyu would also go on to fight and hold his own against Muzan. So Akaza would scale to small city levels of strength. So who's stronger? Well, if you don't include the Modulo statement, then it's pretty close between the two. However, since I am including that statement as factual, Yuji would take the edge in strength. Akaza is pretty powerful, but Prime Yuji being stated to be on par, if not stronger than Gojo, is far more impressive than anything Akaza has shown to do, or has been stated of being capable of. So Yuji takes strength. Now let's move on to speed. Speed scaling in JJK is a bit weird, so bear with me for this. It's been shown that Yuji is capable of running 50 meters in only 3 seconds, which is way above what the average person can do. In the Goodwill event, Yuji was completely surrounded by all of the Kyoto students, and yet he was so fast none of them could land a hit on him, which includes Mai, who literally uses a gun. This should give Yuji supersonic speeds, although you can get him faster than this. Kashimo, a sorcerer introduced later in the series, uses electromagnetic waves, which travel at light speeds. And Hikari, who end of series Yuji, as well as prime adult Yuji, should be stronger and faster than was able to dodge them. So with the Hikari and Kashimo scaling, this gives Yuji FTL, or faster than light speeds. Akaza, being a demon, is obviously faster than the average human. When Akaza was fighting Rengoku, The two were moving so fast that Tanjiro was unable to track their movements. Rengoku himself was also able to run the entire length of a train track within a few seconds. This is a supersonic plus feat. But Akaza is way faster than this. Akaza was able to keep up with a marked Giyu, who was comparable to Mitsuri, who was capable of dodging lightning, as well as Giyu being far superior to Tengen, who was able to cut multiple bombs before they were able to go off. This gives Akaza relativistic speeds. So who's faster? Yuji would take the edge in speed due to him scaling above Hikari, who can dodge Kashimo's electromagnetic waves. While Akaza being on par with lightning dodgers like Giyu, the speeds of light are far faster than lightning. So, in that case, Yuji takes the edge in speed. Now let's move on to the next stat, durability. Yuji's durability is one of his best attributes because he has survived some serious damage. Before he even knew what cursed energy was, he was able to take and survive multiple blows from grade 2 curses, which almost killed Megumi. Yuji was also able to survive multiple attacks from the special grade curse, the first finger bearer, but also survived being blasted through multiple walls. Yuji can also survive blows from Todo, Mahito, and even Sukuna, which are all very powerful characters. His best feat, however, was when Yuji was able to casually walk through Sukuna's world cutting slashes, which is the attack that leveled the entire city of Shibuya. This gives Yuji multi-city block to his city levels of durability. Akaza, like most demons in Demon Slayer, is very hard to kill. Akaza was able to tank a death-amped Rengoku, slicing his sword through his neck, while also focusing his efforts on trying to escape. Akaza was also able to take a lot of blows from both Tanjiro and Giyu, who at the time are a lot stronger than Rengoku was. This gives Akaza small city levels of durability. This stat is extremely close on who gets the edge. Both characters were able to take blows from very strong characters, however, Yuji gets the ever so slight edge. This is due to his city levels of durability being slightly higher than Akaza's small city levels. So while this is very close, and you can make an argument for Akaza taking it due to his healing factor, which I'll discuss later, but I give the edge to Yuji. Let's move on to the next two stats, IQ and experience. Yuji is very dumb when it comes to book smarts. It's been stated that he has the second lowest learning capabilities in all of Jujutsu High, and he is also extremely bad at math, needing his fingers to count to 5. However, when it comes to combat, he is incredibly gifted. He was able to fight cursed spirits before his training as a sorcerer, and only got better with his said training with Gojo. He was also taught by Todo to properly control his cursed energy, and even learned how to use the hardest curse techniques with ease, like the Black Flash and Domain Expansion. So yeah, Yuji is very intelligent when it comes to combat, but what about experience? The entire story of JJK takes place around 6 months, and Yuji has gotten a lot of formal training in between the events of the story. While Akaza's book intelligence is not really known, he is very gifted when it comes to combat intelligence. Akaza has high levels of adaptation in fights and can easily predict his opponent's fighting styles and movement. Even before he became a demon, he was a profound fighter and even beat adults with martial arts mastery. As for experience, Akaza has been around for over 100 years, and his demon biology makes him immune to aging. As a human, he was already very experienced in martial arts, and only got better as he got formal training from Keizo. So who takes the edge in these stats? I give the edge in both stats to Akaza. There is no argument against Akaza taking experience due to him living for way longer than Yuji. However, IQ is a lot closer. While both are pretty intelligent when it comes to combat IQ, Akaza's longer time span being alive, as well as him actually being a master of martial arts, while Yuji just throws hands and prays for the best. So Akaza has the edge in both stats, although IQ is pretty close. Before I come to the verdict on who wins, I need to talk about their abilities. Yuji's power comes from his cursed energy, an energy source created from negative human emotions. With cursed energy, Yuji can access a multitude of curse techniques. Yuji has blood manipulation, which he uses to fire attacks like piercing blood, which is so powerful it can pierce even metal. Yuji has a technique called dismantle, which allows Yuji to attack and destroy the soul of his target. He also has access to moves like Divergent Fist, which allows him to delay his hits for a stronger blow, and the powerful Black Flash. Black Flash is a rare technique that can be used when a sorcerer's physical strike is combined with cursed energy within 1/1,000,000th of a second, creating a black spatial distortion that also drastically increases his attack power. This also damages the soul of his target. In fact, Black Flash targets the soul directly. Yuji's most powerful ability, however, is his domain expansion. While unnamed, Yuji's domain allows him to have a guaranteed hit with dismantle, bypassing physical durability and directly attacking the opponent's soul, which is what he used to defeat Sukuna. Yuji also has access to reverse curse technique, which allows Yuji to heal from any injury he receives, like lost limbs or elements like burns or simple cuts. So as you can tell, Yuji has a lot of powerful abilities on his side. Akaza, being a demon, has a lot of powerful abilities under his sleeves. His signature ability is his blood demon art, named Destructive Death. This ability allows him to generate shockwaves, manipulate kinetic energy to make him hit harder, enhance his physical combat abilities, allows him to detect his opponent's fighting spirit and predict their movements, and fire blasts of kinetic energy with techniques like Destructive Death Air type. Akaza has high levels of adaptability mid-combat, which means he can quickly learn his opponent's fighting style and find counters to their attacks. However, his most useful ability is his natural demon regeneration. Demons in Demon Slayer can only be killed by the sun or getting decapitated with a Nichiren blade. However, Akaza is one of the few demons that is capable of regenerating his head, meaning the only way to truly kill Akaza is expose him to the sunlight. Cut off his arms, he instantly grows new ones. Akaza's regen is also one of the strongest healing factors due to his upper moon status, meaning he heals much faster and more efficiently than demons below him. So who wins? Well, if we take a look at the stats, Yuji has the advantage, being superior in every stat except IQ and experience. However, despite that, he can't kill Akaza with physical damage due to Akaza's demon regeneration. Akaza can also learn Yuji's movements and adapt to them. However, Yuji would end up winning this fight for a few reasons. While no, Yuji doesn't have access to a Nichiren blade, and if this fight takes place in the Infinity Castle or a neutral battleground where the sun isn't a factor, he can't destroy Akaza with the sunlight. But he has an ability that Akaza has no defense for: soul damage. The demons in Demon Slayer have been directly stated to be corrupted and fallen human souls, meaning Akaza definitely has a soul. Yuji is also much faster than Akaza, so Akaza can't reliably dodge Yuji's attacks. Even if he could, Yuji's domain expansion guarantees a hit with Dismantle, which would instantly kill Akaza by targeting his soul. So yeah, Yuji not only has the stat advantage, but he can also bypass Akaza's only real win con with his healing, with moves like Dismantle and Black Flash directly targeting Akaza's soul. You can't regenerate if you don't have a soul to help you do that. So the winner for this video is Yuji Itadori with low to mid difficulty. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you want If you disagree with anything I said, make sure to comment down below, and I will make sure to read your comments. If you also want to recommend fights, you can also comment that down below, and I'll add it to the list of videos I make. Anyways, my name is Dusty, and I'm signing off. Have a wonderful day.